Hi, Brittany. All right, I'm going to do your Soul Rebirth Journey now. So, you shared some things with me. So, the goals for this work: finding direction and stability in a self loving career path that will bring me abundance to support new adventure needs and wants, lessening overwhelm, fears, and tiredness to find friends and have fun in exciting times. You've been going through a lot though, just in the background of what the sort of trying to minimize it down to what am I trying to accomplish here? There's a lot going on in your life, just emotionally, mentally, all different kinds of things. So I'm just going to relax and then we'll just see where spirit takes us, okay? So we're gonna make you feel a lot better. All right. My spirit guides asked me, how do I anticipate making you feel better? And as a human being examining this, I'm going to create balance for you mentally, emotionally, balance in those areas, but allowing an essence of self-love to manifest so you can see that you're amazing and special, and that life can come to a balance. It can come to a point where it just feels like things are starting to come into an alignment. And so it doesn't feel all sporadic and chaotic and six different levels of an experience all taking place simultaneously in every single moment of every single day. It just seems like too much, right? You have too many feet, too many feet and too many pots and hands, cooking too many dishes. And it's just too much going on, just the emotional and mental challenges of getting through life and trying to come up with really positive ways to make things better, and it just feels like those aren't working either. And so that as a human being and analyzing this, that is what I anticipate we will be accomplishing. So we'll just see how it turns out. Spirit always has the upper hand. They're the ones that guide me through, so we'll see where they take us. Okay. So there's a massive glob, like bubbly glob around you. It's like a jello, a white clear jello. Like if you could turn liquid into like a jelly or something, it's completely a massive jelly ball around you. It's got a weird sort of moving way about it. Like it's got its own life force energy. And you're stuck inside of it. It's like the jellyfish has eaten you. And the jellyfish has more alive and motivation than you're just sort of, inside the jellyfish. Not a lot of arm space in here. So, it just feels like as I'm examining the way that this feels and what this means, the image shifts and changes. I'm looking at a woman just sitting on a chair where she's wearing jeans, and the legs are just kind of in and out, just kind of flapping like, I don't know, maybe I gotta go to the bathroom really bad. Maybe I'm so bored and I'm really impatient and I'm just sort of like, twitching and moving my body and just, I'm in a hurry or whatever. It's not a sexual image, not at all. It's just sort of like an impatient sort of thing. But impatient in a way that the body is moving to display that version of impatience. I am motivated to stop the movement of your legs and just force you to just relax. It's amazing what happens. You ever try and do that? You're in a real hurry and then you force yourself to not be in a hurry. It's the worst feeling ever. That right now is what I'm getting to experience right now. It's like, I'm moving. I need to go. I'm bored in life, or I want, there's something I need to do, or I'm behind schedule, or I'm waiting on somebody and I've been waiting on them the last half hour. And there's something about this movement it needs to be, you need to get the yoga going and the chi going. We need to breathe here. We need to take it slow. It's amazing. It's like sometimes when you slow it way down, everything else seems to balance itself out on its own. the tortoise really does beat the hare. Because sometimes you can go so fast, but it just feels like you can't get anything done. You go so fast because you're always in a hurry and there's so many things to juggle. I got to get it all done in one day. But when you just take it slow and just allow things to just be in their places and just allow yourself to move from one thing to the next as you are meant to, it's like a divine timing thing. It just, everything starts to become in balance. There's a new version of a harmony and everything is falling into place. It's amazingly, the relaxation energy is really helping this energy pattern here. It's helping the motivation to be in the wiggle worm, like come on, kind of feel, just slowing it way down, just creating massive amounts of peacefulness. So the energy is just getting so much softer, more relaxed. You don't have to fall asleep here. You just become more aware, but slower. It's like yoga. You slow everything down, and amazingly, it just creates impressive balance. You don't fall asleep during the stretch, but it does make you feel amazing by slowing down and allowing yourself to just experience the act of stretching. Alters your entire perception of energy and balance. I'm still focusing on creating that essence of peace and patience and relaxation for this part of your reflection. I'm telling you, the difference I'm experiencing right now is awesome. It's really great. It feels awful when you try and take I'm in a hurry and transform it into I'm patient. There's about a flicker of a minute or two in there that I doesn't feel good, but once you can transition beyond that, it's like, I'm so glad I did this. I really needed to do this. They're showing me everything just sort of blended together. We have that scene where the legs now are just in a relaxed state. There's also an image of basically, you take a picture of an ocean just like kind of at an angle. We have the tide coming in, right? So there's a foaminess, there's sand, there's water here. So we have this image, right? Now we take this image and duplicate it 5 times and then distance it's from each other. So it's like we have one scene that is now connected, and now we have duplicates 5 times over, and that's what we're looking at. So where are we? And what beach scene are we in? Or there's 5 of them, but there's only actually 1 of them. But there's the sensation of, I need to be in one of the 5. All you have to do is be in one of them, and then you just merge all the other images together, and now they're all blended in oneness. There's only 1 beach scene here. So why are you trying to inspire 5 beach scenes to exist, and then the need to figure out which one to be in? That too has something to do with, we need to create energy of balance and harmony, where you feel your feet firmly planted in the sand, and you are acknowledging that I am in oneness, that these scenes are just one. I'm actually having your feet in the sand here. I'm just, in fact, legs on chair that are also sort of intermingled with this scene. Legs now are just standing up, and now feet are on the beach. She's still wearing jeans. I can't see her face. It's just sort of from the shoulders down. And so standing up, we're just going to alter the pattern. You're in a swimsuit now, and you're standing on the beach, and all the scenes are merging in one, and there's only 1 beach here. Your feet are in the sand. You're in a bikini. The world can see you in your bikini standing on the beach. It's funny. we're making progress here. In the state of making progress, there's just this horrible feeling of like weird pinchers coming out of the sand and then nipping your feet and making it real. It's just like, my feet keep getting pinched by little pinchers or something. There's lots of little pinchers under there nipping my toes and my feet, and I just don't like it. It's not like the sand is too hot or anything. There's like little scorpions or like, I mean, it's like little scorpion pinchers or something under the sand. You can't feel comfortable at all. I mean, it's hard to just feel grounded or to stand still. It just feels like something's always nipping at the feet and making you just, it feels very uncomfortable, and it's irritating. It's totally irritating. There's a new wave, new wind of feelings. I don't know where it's sort of like your brain, there's an issue here with you feeling solid, feet on the ground, and in oneness with one moment in time. Somehow, when I try to create that essence of one moment in solidity, there's a calamity and echo, 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 echo. And the brain just seems to just create this gong sound of things just happening all over the place. And I don't know where I am, and I don't know which version of a scene it just so many echoes happening. So your feet are just sort of jumbly, and your brain it creates a massive release of duplicating scenes of the same thought. So where are we? In which thought are we in? It's one thought that you somehow duplicated 100 times in every direction, like a gong sound that just keeps ringing for all eternity. And for some reason, you don't know in which ring you are supposed to be in. There's only one ring. Don't go making it out to be thousands and thousands and thousands of rings of a reflection of something, a thought, an experience, something you have to do. And now it feels like instead of it just being one thing, I gotta go to the grocery store, it's like, but I gotta go to the grocery store, and I only have so much time, and there's so many things to get, and I don't even know what to get, and now but you just have to go to the grocery store. So just go to the grocery store. But it's taking something so simple as that, and now take the mirror and just bash it and turn it into 1,000 pieces of why this is there's just too much involved going on. It's just one thing. It's sort of like, it's so now Spirit's already starting to relax this scene again. You really need to know that you really need to have a gift, an energy gift, to help allow you to minimize the echo of the mind. The echo the mind creates to blow things up to be bigger than they really are. And now you create worry and fear and emotional reactions to feeling less about yourself. You don't know what to believe in. You don't know how you will ever successfully accomplish anything you are looking to accomplish. That is the mind creating massive echo purges, insane ones, very loud ones, and you don't even know in which echo that you're in, when actually they're all just coming from you. You're just a single entity. You're sort of blowing things up bigger than they really are. Spirit keeps saying that. This is a really honest experience, though, and it's a really honest, energetic, sort of illusionary challenge that you're going through. It's a very, very honest, real thing. And I'm telling you, it's a hard one. Because once you get used to that pattern of behavior, it's going to be very hard to know how to reduce everything into a single thing. Because you feel like it's almost like you start growing 1,000 arms and have a 1,000 hands in different cookie jars. We just need to have one hand in one cookie jar. I will not allow your feet to feel these nippers on the toes. They aren't there. They're illusion that are making you feel vulnerable, and naked and uncomfortable, and they're making you move and making you feel inspired to think and be motivated and something else and then the other thing and then blah 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 blah, and now we get echo. It's like, no, you are standing on the ground. There are no nippers under your feet. I'm going to have you look at the nippers themselves. We see them with our own eyes. We see them in the ground. They're like black little scorpion pinchers coming out of the sand and pinching your toes, but they aren't actually there. They're inspiring you to feel like you have to move and think and act. And this is a tough one. Because the more you stand there firmly, because I'm not going to let you move, I'm not going to let you acknowledge any of that, they aren't real. There is quite a face underneath the sand that is not, that's reacting to this. And I would call that the face of ego. So you're standing on the face of ego. And the face of ego looks pretty menacing and scary. I'm just focusing on, I will not waver. And no matter how many insistence on creating these massive echoes, and look at me, I'm ego, I'm important here, and I'm going to create pinchers, and you're going to feel it this time, and it's going to get worse, and it can't let go of anything. It just, no. Solidity, oneness, grounding, peace, harmony. It's helping big time. And it's very hard. I'm in your spiritual atmosphere. In your spiritual atmosphere, these are the energy patterns that are creating your experience. To change the energy patterns, we simply have you alter your pattern. So instead of having you follow along and feel like you are at the will of the energy patterns, then we alter your stance within the energy patterns, and now they are forced to acknowledge that you are doing things differently. Now they are forced to behave differently. Now you are going to feel differently. Now you are allowed to feel balance and harmony. Now you are allowed to feel grounded. Because you are standing within the energy patterns that are creating your reflection, and now you are altering everything by choice. I can experience how hard this is for you, because it shouldn't take this long for me to alter an energy pattern. It's that chaotic and insistent on doing this. It keeps trying to derail me. It keeps trying to show me an echo. It keeps trying to show me that I'm not doing things right. It keeps trying to create more reasons for you to fail, more reasons for you to not stand firm, more reasons for... It's lying to you. That's the ego telling you over and over and over again why you'll never be good enough, and keeps telling you until you believe it, and then you give up on trying. And then when you try again, it's going to freak out on you, and it's going to bash the mirror of progress and tell you 1,000 times that you're not going to make it, you're not going to be successful, you suck, and you might as well just quit again already. That's what ego does. It challenges you. Unfortunately, when you keep giving into ego over and over and over again, it gets harder and harder and harder to stand up against it, because it knows you're weak against. If it just keeps nagging you, eventually it will win. You got to keep staying firm, and this isn't going to stop. If this entire time all we do is stand here firmly on this ground, you in your bikini on the beach, then I keep facing ego for you, and in order to break this energy pattern, to create harmony, that is profound, because you desperately need this big time. So the energy is shifting and changing to where you are crying and now you are sitting down on the beach. You're looking at your feet and they're bloody and cut up. You feel bewildered. You feel like you can't ever do anything right. You feel frustrated. The good news about this scene is you aren't creating an echo. You are actually acknowledging I am on the beach in this one version of a truth, experiencing myself, these emotions, and they're not turning into a gong and echo sound. You're actually solidly together and feeling how you actually feel deep down inside. You are acknowledging in a very solid way what you honestly see and feel. That's good. You're acknowledging that you want things to get better and that life feels like this and it looks like this. There's a difference between freaking out and saying it's bad over sitting down and actually looking at what is nipping you. And taking an honest look at it and saying, you know, if this is all an illusion, the reality is I still see that my feet are hurting here. And I feel this way about it. But it's totally a solid and improved response. There's some loving energy that comes from the ocean water. It wants to kiss your wounds to make them feel better. There was a vulnerability to creating the echo, but you didn't do it. There's still the vulnerability, but you're staying more solid and in the space. You are still in the space, and this is extremely good. You're putting your feet into the water. You're sort of just sitting. Feet are just kind of out like this. And then the waves are just kind of rolling in, sort of kissing your feet and then rolling back. And rolling in, just kissing your feet and then rolling back. It feels a lot better. There's weird stuff wanting to come out of the ground, just old energy buildup. Everything is starting to feel smaller and smaller and smaller and further away from the reality. So the whole scene is literally getting smaller and then further away to the point that it's like it's not even there anymore. I see a woman now looking at herself in the mirror, and there are weird versions of hair, like standing straight out, and they're like thin strings of hair. But they're entirely covered in a sticky goop. It's like really trying to look perfect, but feeling like a complete mess. Even trying to put perfect makeup on, but it gets smudged and it just looks all jacked up, basically. Trying to do things right, but feeling like a total mess. Can't go out in public like this. Why can't I do anything right? I can't ever get my hair right. I can't do it right. Trying to get my face just right, and I can't do it right. I tell this version of you that your hair, allow it to just fall as it naturally will. And if it looks like a total mess, then that's how God wanted it to be. There's something beautiful in being totally natural. Only society wants perfection. Mother Earth actually loves crazy messes. She loves weird noses and eyes too small for the face and really thin lips sometimes and really square faces and weird jaws. And Mother Earth loves variety, and she finds that to be so beautiful. Only society wants a perfect, symmetrical face with huge, luscious lips and massive eyes and perfect hair. And nobody ever grows old here. Nobody. And if we grow old, then dang it, we're just going to get face injections and plastic surgery, because growing old is not going to happen to me. I'm telling this part of yourself that it is beautiful as it naturally is. I'm putting the makeup away. I'm washing the makeup off your face. It's very hard to do this because there's a weird calamity sort of barf that comes out of right here, literally the side of your face and kind of behind the eye as well. So it just barfs out right there. It's an energy barf. It hates me for what I think I could possibly do to make you feel better. How dare you tell me that I'm beautiful the way I am? How dare you take this makeup off my face? We are really helping ego to feel, just let the voice out. Let it be mad. Let it be angry. Just let it be. You're beautiful the way you are. And deep down inside, you know that's the truth. Who cares what society wants? Be happy being you. You feel broken, you feel scarred. Scarred right here. Like literally an energetic scar that goes here all the way across your eye and down almost to your nose. Even really disgusting, almost gouged out face piece here. Even disgusting, like desire to rip or shred face apart now. Even rip it now, sort of ripping out the face here, and now taking hand and just ripping the face down. And ripping all the hair out, ripping even the head off, ripping just parts of the body, just ripping everything out. Taking hand, pulling out intestine, ripping it all apart. I fucking hate myself. That's kind of what this is doing right now. It's very loud. This is another version of that break thing and echo, 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 echo. This is all at least together. This is solid. It's not echoing out. It's actually solidly happening. Solidly happening. Solid reaction. It's an extreme reaction, but it's a solid reaction. This is really how you feel about yourself. You really hate yourself so much that you could just take your own hands and just... In a spiritual version of the truth, we have thoughts, we get negative thoughts about ourselves. They're just more negative thoughts. It is what it is. Life just sucks. In the spiritual version of those thoughts, they look like this. They look like your soul ripping itself apart. Your soul literally pulling its own throat out. Your soul literally splitting apart and beating yourself up. Your soul literally taking the knives and stabbing it all over yourself. When you have negative self-thoughts, they're just negative thoughts. We all have them. Life sucks. In the spiritual version of the reality, you're actually torturing yourself, and it's very disturbing. It literally looks like this. Thing is you have nothing to be... I understand why this is happening. It's sort of like you feel really vulnerable. You want really badly to have balance, to feel good, to have a happy life. And when you can't accomplish that, it just feels so bewildering. And the only thing left to do is just take it out on yourself. Because you are the problem. You're the reason everything sucks. You're the reason why you're this, that, and the other thing. You're the reason. You are. It just, that's what ends up happening. Really what behind all of that negative self-talk is really a heart that is broken, a heart that is crying, a soul that needs to feel hugged and loved and worthy and deserving. It's so many things. This is a lot for you to carry on your own shoulders. And you're carrying a lot of energy weight that you can let go of just by choosing to allow yourself to Let go of being so hard on yourself. Let go of having such extraordinary expectations, but also allow yourself to feel calm and relaxed and not feel the gong of so many things. It's like it's so loud and so echoey, and so I don't know in which scene I am in, but I have five scenes of the same one scene. So are we taking one scene and now creating 5 scenes out of one scene? It's like taking one situation and now blowing it up into 1,000 different thoughts about one thing, and none of them are good. See, even me talking, so I'm experiencing how my voice, how speaking in these scenes either heals or creates vulnerability. And so me speaking in this scene is creating self-awareness, but because of so much of the negative self-talk, it's now sort of to resonate that I am the voice of negativity. That there's something comforting in me telling you about yourself as being less than good enough. So even I have to explore different ways of relaying the wisdom so I'm not creating too much tenderness, because this is how hardcore your energy is in the balance of things and why you're going through what you're going through, because you've been kind of carrying this load around for a while, and it's built up to this super moment. It's a mountain on your back, and it has a lot to do with allowing the thoughts to go way overboard. Allowing one thought times 100. Now you have 100 overboard thoughts. It's too many, and just not enough love towards self and acceptance of self. I'm exploring ways that we can help you feel how can we reset you from all of this? How can we give you a fresh start? Spirit guides are telling me I'm already giving you a fresh start. All of this energy work is already doing massive work to improve all of these types of behaviors. This jellyfish thing is still, you're inside the jellyfish mouth and you just are wearing a jellyfish blubber body, or like an insane jelly body around you. It's not a jellyfish, it's just insane blubber, like clear, like water that turned into a jelly, and then you're inside of a teardrop that turned into a jelly. It kind of looks kind of like jellyfish, kind of. But this odd jello thing is sucking energy off of you. It's like a big mouth or a stomach that's absorbing all of your, and it's absorbing energy off of you. And it makes it hard for the love to get, the finger love, like love fingers to get in there and to touch your heart, right? Because you're surrounded in a jelly. And the jelly is like a mouth that is like sucking on all this sort of helping you to feel this way. Now we're showing you on the outside of it, jumping on it as though it is like a trampoline or something. Because it has some density to it. That changes a lot. You're like a child jumping on it like it's a trampoline. It's a really freeing experience. There is nothing to focus on with this jelly thing. We're just seeing a girl smiling and just jumping on a very unusual looking trampoline. And on a sunny day, and there's green grass, and the more she jumps, the more she smiles, the more it feels like freedom and innocence and just a natural joy, natural instinctive joy. It's refreshing. It's such a positive thing. Massive old energy purge out, just right out of here. Just massive old energy purge. And then out of the heart portal region as well. Just through choosing to be free and choosing to just see things whatever, you just take that frown, turn it upside down. Whatever is a negative thought, you turn it into a positive one. I'm being sucked on by a weird jelly blubber. Nope, I'm a kid and I'm jumping on it and it's really just a funny trampoline. We're just taking what the illusion, we're taking the illusion of truth and creating a new illusion of truth. The illusion of truth is something negative. Now the new illusion of truth is something positive. So what is the truth? Let's just see it as positive and see what happens. It's much better to go the positive route and see what happens. Let's start seeing what happens when we talk positively to ourselves and start talking negatively. It's amazing what positive self-talk can do. It really does work. There's just massive purges of energy coming out all kinds of places in you. This one is like totally whole gut region just pushing old energy out. Things are we're just releasing old energy, but the scene is starting to shift and change again, but I don't know what we're working with yet. It's sort of like a blender or something, and then like crushed ice. But it's almost like the jelly thing is in the blender, because it's not exactly crushed ice. It kind of looks like crushed ice, but it feels spongy, it feels jellier. And there's something very aggressive, something very irritable, or something very pissed off. I'm in a kitchen. I just want to rip this blender apart. I'm telling you, a lot of cussing noises. I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. What the fuck ever. There's just a lot of cussing going on. There's just a lot of irritation. There's that desire again to take the invisible hands and rip everything to shreds. And I'm just so irritated. And I'm so sick of it all. And nothing is ever going right. Nothing ever will go right. And fuck this. That's kind of what it's like in here. And, even taking the thing and just the blender and just slamming it down on the kitchen counter and just taking and just, wanting to throw it in someone's face even just because I feel like shit. I want to make somebody else feel like shit. Fuck everybody. It won't stop in here. Just like the most chaotic cuss experience ever. Literally just wanting to just break everything apart, just being sick of the structure, just wanting to break it apart. But the reality is you can't break this kitchen apart. You can't, if this was a real physical thing, you could not go into your kitchen and take your hand and put it into the countertop and rip the countertop to shreds. So this scene is acting much like a real physical scene where you're in real life really pissed off, bitching about something in the kitchen while you're cooking dinner, just pissed off about whatever happened today and not can't really get a handle on things or whatever else. And sometimes it just gets so ingrained. I just want to just break some things, We've all been there. It's good that they're not allowing you to rip the kitchen apart, because you're getting so exhausted by being pissed off and you really want to take it out, but there's nobody here. Can't throw the jelly in anybody's face. You can't take your hands and rip the countertops apart. You're not allowed to do anything. The ceiling is starting to, the whole thing is all fake. It's like the movie theater, the scene that we've constructed here is because you're not allowed to keep it alive with the cussing and in the attitude. Everything's starting to relax. Everything is starting to alter the energy pattern. And now what was holding this thing up all along was a lot of bad language, a lot of anger, a lot of just bad self-talk, basically. The whole scene is starting to fall apart. it's kind of a scary horror scene where like the ceilings are starting to drip and it's like black tar, and the ceilings are just starting to crack and get more liquidy, and they're gonna just the black tar is starting, has no more solidity, is turning into a liquid, and it's starting to blub out of there. The floor is starting to ooze in with black liquids coming out of everything's breaking apart, and it's just black liquid. We're in the fist of the black, hole of the emotions of negative self-talk. But the positive thing is here, the energy pattern is changing. It's relaxing, it's letting go. It got everything out that it needed to say, and there's nothing else it could say. And so now the whole scene is starting to just fall apart on its own. It's just like a tar pit. It's just a total tar pit. It was a really cute kitchen too. But nothing about it was real. It was just held together because it wasn't really going into it. Just I'm getting too relaxed here to really talk. I'm just going to allow this to keep smudge piling, and the kitchen is just totally not really there anymore. It just totally filled in with a black tar goo. Awesome news is the anger sharks are not there at all. There's no, cuss symphony going on here. It's just everything's relaxing and being peaceful, and we're just letting go. It's beautiful. It's very, very good. It's a massive tar river. I see a face manifesting this sort of, let's just say this kitchen was in a house. And on the outside of the house, in a yard over there's a little girl jumping on a weird jelly thing. Beautiful grass, sunny day, fenced in type of scenario. And so we're just sort of watching everything, just the girl jumping is still there, but the house is entirely just, it's turning into a pool of tar. And everything is just shifting and changing. See somebody swimming through water deep, deep down, and they're trying to get through a very thin and invisible pipe. Their hands are trying to push them through the pipe, and they're starting to come out on the other side. There's air bubbles all around them. They're trying to get up to the surface to breathe water. When they get to the surface, there's only about an inch of air between the ceiling and the water. So they're just like trying to breathe, and they can't get the air, and they feel like they're suffocating. They're pounding now on the ceiling. Please open up the ceiling. I can't breathe. I mean, it's like a total suffocation experience. The brain not getting enough oxygen. There's a woman waking up in a really dark scene. Her head is much larger than her body. Not absurdly larger, but it's noticeably larger. She has kind of like a feather cut, and it's been in rollers, and it's kind of like Charlie's Angels or something. I don't know. There's sort of like a feather cut going on here. And it's red hair. She's very pretty. She's got red cheeks and really pretty lips, and she's very earthy toned. And she's very small everywhere. She's just like, her body is like 5 sizes too small for her head. And she's holding herself close to herself. She's not like bone skinny. She literally take a human body, downsize it by like 5, and then, take the head and then put a normal size head and put it on there. It just, you can tell the body isn't totally normal. fitness and health and all that, but it's just like a smaller version than the head version would go on to. And she's holding her very small body close to her. Her knees are close. She's crying. She's in a dark space. It's like she's been buried alive, and all she has is the size of a cube. So she can only like sit with her legs close to her body. That's all there's room for. The tears are very strange. They're like faucets. They don't come in drops. They're actually just running down her face. Like turning on the faucets, like literally like a tide, like its own river of water going down this cheek. I'm looking at her from the side. She sneezes. She's rubbing her nose. She's sniffling. She's not really emotionally crying, but this just water is just running out of her eyes now. This is home. This is all there is to life. It's dark everywhere. I'm in the tiniest little space of a cube. And this is normal. This is what there is to life. I mean, it's sort of odd. Like this is, it's being accepted. This is what normal is. This is acceptable. There's something of living in a cubicle. I mean, that's literally, there's something, it's a cube. You're in a cube. And there's something of the terminology of feeling like you are living in a cubicle. But this is normal. But it also is, it's like a weird cube coffin. But there's no desire to break free. There's no desire to stand up. Because it feels like you can't. It feels like there isn't any standing up. There wouldn't ever be any standing up. There is no change to this. This is normal life. This is how normal looks and acts, and this is how I fit into normal. This is how I fit into normal. I have to hold myself close to my body. My head is too big for my body. My body is, there's something awkward about the dimensions here. It's very difficult to change this pattern because it is very insistent that this is normal. Imagine if in real life, you actually felt that normal was to be buried, 100 feet underground in the soil around you and just a cube. And it's just big enough for you to kind of sit with your arms closed, and that's normal. And there wouldn't be any getting out. How am I supposed to dig my way out of this? I mean, I'm 100 feet underground. This is normal. But I'm telling you, this is the pattern. This is what it feels like. This is how it reflects itself. That this is what it is saying. This is what you are saying. It feels like you lost a part of yourself. I am showing this version of you, the girl who came out of the jellyfish and and started jumping on it. Did you see that? Did you see what she did? She just manhandled that thing. She just automatically said, "No, you're not. I'm not your food. I'm actually on top of you, jumping on top of you. I'm in control of my own life. I'm in control of my own joy." I'm showing this version of you, that memory, that image of the other version of you that took control of life, the youthful one. I'm showing you a picture of what she looks like. I'm actually handing you a photograph, saying, "Remember her?" It's trying to make a decision on what its impression is of this. I can't say that she feels anything at all. There's kind of a numbness. There's a memory of a time when, but there's no real essence of joy. There's no motivation to change or to become more like that. That was then, this is now. There's a problem here. The problem is you are alone. The problem is a part of you feels like you have to carry this massive, insane energy burden and carry it all by yourself. I am going to inspire people into your tiny little cube of existence. It's hard to get people in your life because you're energetically keeping people out. You're like, this is my Tupperware container. Nobody can come in here but me, because nobody's meant to come in here. I'm the only one here. I really just do not feel that there are compatible energies here that make sense with my own. The reason why is because your energy pattern is so low that it's contaminating your beliefs than good and positive things. You can get out of this. You really can. I'm patiently working with you. I am patiently saying, hi, I am in your Tupperware container. I'm in the cube with you. See, somebody else can be in your cube with you. You acknowledged me. You are acknowledging me in your cube with you. You're kind of like wanting me to be at your level, to relate to the way you feel at this level. Like, no, I can't live in your cube with you, because that's not healthy. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for me. And you should know that wouldn't be healthy for me. You should want something better for me, because you should want something better for yourself as well. I'm merging with this version of you, and I'm going to start positively talking. I'm going to start positively. I'm looking at my body, which is this version of you, the feathered hair, the red hair. She's really cute. But so I'm looking at this version of you. That's just a massive energy contamination in here. It is a freak out going on in here. There's weird energy glob bubbles coming out of the mouth. There's sort of a wincing kind of thing going on, weird energy bubbles, and there's a weird energy kind of mirage around you inside this cube. It's like, where is it all gonna go? It's instantly a freak out and a push. Like, you're the little baby seed, and it's time for you to grow out of the ground. And so it's forcing you up. So you're like the really infested zit that needs to get popped. Like, we gotta push the infection out. You don't belong down here. It's a really horrible thing. I'm feeling a lot of release going on. It's way worse than it looked. I enter into the way that you feel, and it's so jammy, and it's so congested with really awful energy globs, and this is the reality, but this is the altering reality, because it has to change. Things have to change. You can't keep staying down here. There's a reason why you felt like you needed this work done, because it's time. That's the awesome part, is it's time. You're opening up to acknowledging that you want it to be better for you, and it's going to get better for you because you're already acknowledging that it is time. You're getting this work done. You're acknowledging that it is time for things to change. And so things are changing. Things are allowed to change for you because you're choosing it. This is really exciting. I can't believe how contaminated the scene is, but it's pushing out more of the contamination. You're releasing the contamination, and you yourself are growing out of the ground like a seed. You literally came out of the ground. It was sort of like your head was a super seed, and it kept like more stuff you pushed out. There's nowhere for it to go. So it's just pushing you up through the soils, way, way, way up. So your skinny body becomes like a weird, like, root or stem system. And so it just, now a head is out of the ground, that the whole ground itself is starting to cave and give way, and you're actually pulling your whole body out of the ground now. And now you're on top of the ground. You're standing on top of the ground. You're proportionate. Standing out of the ground. You're looking at the hole that you just dug yourself out of. And you're saying, holy crap, I can't believe I was down there. And I thought that was okay. I can't believe I was living like that. That was no way to live at all. It's so much better to be dug out of my own hole. I feel so much better now. I feel like I'm myself. I will show you this picture of the girl again, and I just want to see what you do. You're smiling. You're more positive about this interaction. You're making progress here, but as you're making progress, it's odd how you attract something to inspire things to go back to the way they were without you realizing it. We're seeing the scene sort of attracting a weird energy glob that is coming into contact with you, and you're starting to feel the old way again. You're starting to feel the old way. That was the baby blanket. That was the safety. That was the safety net. That was normal. I'm like, no. You're not digging yourself a hole again. You're not going to go in the hole again. No, you're not going to do it. We are looking at that as a potential. You are starting to feel yourself wanting to dig your hole again. Go live back in the ground again, where it was cozy and safe, where everything made sense to you, where you could just be yourself in this Tupperware container that is called the black cube. It's the cubicle of your life. I don't know. It has potential, and you really are examining the potential of you going back to that again. You really are examining it. I can't force you not to, but I'm encouraging you not to. I mean, in the end, you choose, but I'm encouraging you not to do it this time. I'm encouraging you to come with me. Come on. I get it. When you're youthful, everything just happens instinctively, and it's easy to be happy. When you're older, things are harder because the thoughts and the emotions get so intense, and you start to fall into those versions of experience that make you feel these ways. It's a lot harder to feel like you have the power to just get out of the weird jellyfish, to just be in the now, to just go by the tide and flow in the moment, and everything just makes sense. This is very hard for you, and you're creating more and more density in the air. You are mentally and emotionally attracting more density to you in order to find an escape route back to the cube where everything, you feel exposed. You feel massively exposed. It's interesting. It's like taking 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. But you never take 3 steps back. You actually take one. It's like you're taking 1 step back because you're always moving forward. You're always growing. You're always in a positive way. Even when it feels like things are roping you back in the hole again, you could go back in the hole 50 times and you've still made progress forward because you are learning about the value of why you don't want to go there, why you don't want to keep going backward, why you want to keep going forward. The more times you go backward, eventually there's going to be a time where you're going to put your foot down and say, no more, I'm done going backward. Sometimes we need to go backward 10,000 times in a lifetime before we can finally say, I'm not going backward anymore. I've done it enough. I've got it now. I'm not going back in the Tupperware container. There's something better to life. I just don't know how to accomplish it. I don't know how to make myself feel it constantly and feel connected with it constantly. I feel vulnerable. Ugh. So I'm just being patient with you. You have not gone back in the hole yet. You really have not. I'm proud of you. You're making really big progress. You really have a baby blanket with this odd, it's sort of like depression does have a weird baby blanket effect to it, because it becomes so self-involved and induced in feeling misery that it's very hard to undo that feeling so that you can feel the love all around you and not feel the heaviness and this sort of self-loathing, and you pity yourself. And it's not like you're being selfish, because you really do feel this way. But there comes a point in time where you have to say, I'm ready to not feel this way anymore, and I will do whatever it takes to come out of this. You are doing that already. You're already choosing that. We're already noticing you're making improvements already by exploring all these energy patterns, testing them, getting you out of them, and then exploring what happens next. You're already proving to me that you are making steps forward. You have a weird habit of really feeling at home inside the jellyfish. You haven't quite allowed it to fully contaminate you yet, but it is very attractive feeling. It feels like home. I am unraveling it from around you, literally like you are roped up by it. So I'm just taking the rope of jelly and unraveling it from around you, and it's really thick around the head region. It just starts to suck on your head region, and it's just like, jellyfish. It's like, no, we gotta stop your attraction to that muffliness and sensation of just, giving up and letting go. It's not like you're giving up, though. It just, you succumb to a weird energy that feels like muffliness. It feels like a cozy muffle. And then you go in and internalize everything. It's almost like you want to go to sleep in a really cozy cocoon. And maybe later you'll come out as a butterfly, but right now I just want to sleep in my little cocoon world, inside a hole in the little cube of my life, and only I really understand who I am. Because I'm okay with me. And I'm not even okay with me half the time, but at least I get me. I can, if I want to dislike myself, I have every right to. That's also me just being frustrated with my situation, and me also loving myself, because I gotta do better than this. And if I gotta do better than this, then sometimes I deserve to be a little bit harder on myself. I deserve to be a little harder on myself in order to get myself to wake up and then start being better than this. There's something to this weird mentality going on here. It's starting to inspire the happy moment to start creating the echo and the breakage. And let's just go back to the pattern of mass confusion. It's a really bad one, because it's really addictive. And I'm telling you, punishing yourself is not going to help get you out of this. Encouraging yourself over and over and over again is going to get you out of this. Encouraging yourself to keep trying. Encouraging yourself to say, I'm beautiful no matter what. Encouraging yourself to say, I can do this. I'm going beyond all of these patterns, and I'm just filling you with love energy in a new space, a totally new space. And there's weird blinking lights, and it's sort of nothing is moving here, and it's just a space of complete peacefulness, but there's just really odd blinking lights everywhere. Orange, it's an orangish color, a brownish color, and a purpley color are the ones that I see, and then there's white too. There's sort of an odd white button that kind of is in the center of these blinkings. I'm pulling out weird energy contaminations from this space, and I am altering the pattern of balance. There's too many receptors that are obsessed with certain energy feeds. I'm moving all the blinking lights out of the way. They aren't there anymore, and now I just see your heart portal. There's a weird white liquid bursting out of what is like a weird white button. There's many versions of you hanging on a weird mobile going around what is like a head now manifesting in this space. Everything is weird. There's another version of you underneath a very heavy, dense blanket of very compact sort of, I don't know, dough or something. And pulling that version out. There's many versions of you underneath very compact and strange dough. All sort of in a sleep state. There's a weird, just constant line of repetition, like the hungry little caterpillar. You know, there's like, it has how many balls that create its body. They're just one after the other after the other. So how many versions of you are buried in the ground here? And they're just all mimicking reflections of each other. Constant echo. And this air echo is buried. I'm going deeper than this. I'm going to the root of all of this. I'm literally scraping beneath the surface. The more I scrape beneath the surface, the more the surface wants to harden up and not let me go down there. Now I feel, now a part of me is just like, no, I must go down there. Don't do this to yourself. No. It's a weird space. I mean, there's different versions of you hanging yourself on a noose, like lots of them, just one after the other. It's like, ah da 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 da, hang myself on a noose. Ah da 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 da, hang myself on a noose. Ah da 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 da. Repeat repetition over and 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 over again, just like that. I'm filling that space with love. Filling all these spaces with love. Pulling out a very long and massive energy contamination. It's like the infinite hose. I mean, it just looks like a black hose. I'm just continuing to pull it out, specifically in just beneath the rib cage. In that portal region right there beneath the rib cage. Pulling off a weird, like your head is inside of a clay pot, but there's like an odd sticky goo when I pull the clay pot pieces off your head. I'm welcoming you to stand up. You're slightly, I mean, you're female, but your hair is really patchy and it's very thin and bald, mostly bald with some hair coming down. You just don't know where you've been for a long time, and you don't know how to be just the sunshine of our lives. You just only know, you just confused, totally confused. You're showing me this space was actually contained inside of an odd clay jar or something, and you're coming out. You're wanting to feel the sunlight upon your face. You're wanting to feel like you are growing in a new way. You're wanting to go surpass beyond this. You're showing me the entire landscape is dried up and dead. There aren't any trees. There's nothing growing. It's just like a farm field of dirt. No seeds planted. Underneath this ground, there's just a lot of old and dead, decayed energy. You know that you need to change, but a part of you just feels really thin and doesn't know how to inspire the change itself. And that's why you keep rummaging back into these moments. Some part of your soul is just infinitely crying and just feels really broken. I am breaking open a zipper of this reality. I am altering the version that you are not on this planet. You are in a whole different planet of reality. And it is not a dead planet. There's so much potential for things to grow where this is. But it's only inspiring you to remain in a memory of pattern of decay, and nothing ever grows here, and nothing ever will grow here. So I'm taking this version of you into a new space of reality. Totally new space of reality. There's another version of you showing it was like sort of buried inside of like a mummy case or something. But the clay part of the mummy part goes all the way down to you. And so you're trying to break out of that as well. So you can breathe again. There's some weird thing about oxygen. I'm telling you, there's some weird past life inspiring this too. And it was something where you suffocated to death. And so in some ways you are suffocating the joy from your own life, and you are living like a dead person who has been suffocated to death. You're still lifting your soul up and out of the patterns of the reality. There's a long ways we can go here. It's really a tough one because I'm still going up with you, and it's very exhausting. The further up I go, the darker it seems to get, the more dense it gets, and the more heavy and exhausting it all gets. This is your spiritual atmosphere. This is you. But this is going beyond you and breaking the molds over and over and over again, as many times as it takes, to help you discover that you are alive and you're breathing just fine, and you are able to live this life totally free, to be yourself, to be who and what you are, to be loved for who you are, and to love yourself for who you are. What breaks the molds of the lower vibrational patterns? Loving yourself breaks those molds. Loving yourself and discovering who you are. That you are a beautiful, bright spark in the universe. And that you're breathing just fine. Sort of lifting you up and out of a cavity. This is a more massive version of the cube of your life. I mean, this is more of an infinite version of that. So there's a pause here. In the end, it is your choice where you want to go. I'm not going to force any of this to happen. If this version of you, this is as comfortable as it gets. I'm supposed to acknowledge that I have taken you quite extraordinarily beyond the sensation of being suppressed by energy suppression. You're quite beyond a very heavy level of energy suppression where you were. And so at this point where I've taken you beyond all of that, you have to choose where you will go and how you will go there next, because you can go there quite happily and sing the melody of joy and be spontaneous, be childlike, be loving towards yourself. Just be. Children don't analyze themselves in a way that we adults kind of just are way too hard on ourselves. And there's something very simplistic about being very young and just being able to just be. Like 2-year-olds just are, 3-year-olds just are themselves and curious, and they react either I'm unhappy or I'm happy, and they just react and they just do. But they don't hold grudges. They don't go down deep. They don't stay deep. They don't stay miserable. They bounce back really quickly. Because they're constantly in a state of wanting to experience more and more love and joy. And they're curious about this world and how the world turns. I'm just in a state of sharing love and energy with you. This version of you, it's all void spaces. I just pulled you up from a very deep spot, and we're sort of at the pinnacle of this void space. So I'm just allowing you that there's nothing to see here. You don't even have a reflection. We're all just energy. We're just blended into the infinite. We're just consciousnesses. And so I'm just sharing love and energy with you, exploring how far can we go. What are you ready for? Is this as far as your soul wants to go? Maybe I've shared enough energy with you. I don't like to overdo it if the soul tells me to stop. And your soul isn't telling me to stop yet. You're showing me a new scene. You feel that your shirt is hung up. You're sort of hung up on a hook. You just hung up by your shirt, and you just hung there. You can't get off the hook. Your legs are like dangling, like trying to move or touch the ground, but there's just no hope. You're just stuck on a hook. You don't have a clue how you're gonna get off this hook. You're kind of waiting for somebody to come through the door and take you off the hook for you. And so that's kind of where we're at. Say, why don't you just fall out of your shirt? just fall out. Just take your shirt off and just come out of your shirt. And now you're not on a hook anymore. You're just standing on the ground. Now you can take control of your own life. You're just like, why did you have to say that? Why did you have to show me a way out? Because if you fall out of your shirt and are standing on your own 2 feet, now you're responsible for figuring this thing out. Now you're responsible for what happens next. If somebody could just get you off of the hook, then they could just be responsible for taking care of you and helping you start to take care of yourself. I need help. I just need somebody to help me with this. Are you going to let somebody in to help you, though? And the reality is you're in a very odd energy blubber, and it pushes people away. It pushes away real worthy and deserving love that would help you, because some weird part of you loves being miserable. So in the end, you've got to choose to do this for yourself. And as you continue to grow, this energy blubber starts to dissipate. And now people can actually enter into your life that really can nurture you in a way, because you are nurturing yourself in that same way. So you're attracting balanced energy. There's massive purge of letting go energy from the heart portal region. You're being asked to walk out the door on your own. We've gotten you out of the shirt. You're standing on your own 2 feet now, and now it is time to walk out the door and see what is there. And in your mind, you're just seeing the worst. You're just assuming the worst is there. You're saying this is your fresh start, to start seeing the worst is there. Don't make this your fresh start. Your fresh start needs to be all the potential, all the love, all the worthy and deserving. Some part of all of this work is sort of oddly feeding into a version that just take care of me for the rest of my life. Just if we have to keep going over these energy patterns 10,000 times, just let me do it. Just let me just slump into the blubber sucking on my head. Just let me do that. Let me just be myself in this way. And just keep loving me. Just keep loving me for me just being this way. I just need that. It's like, no, you don't need that. And this isn't going to work. You have to start choosing to go beyond this, and you can, and you already know you can. It's hard because this has become very contaminating. It is very contaminating. I can experience how hard it is for you. I actually can experience how hard this is for you. But this can go away very quickly when you start choosing to think positively. Start choosing to love yourself constantly. Start choosing to do self-loving behaviors. And I'm going to tell you, this weird energy ripple is going to want to try and pull the rug from under your feet. You're going to take 2 steps forward. Things are going to feel like they're happening. And then weird energy patterns going to happen. The blubber is going to start sucking on your head again. And you're going to just go back to the way things were. It's just like a constant repetitious nightmare, right? But you can get out of this because you're not going to allow that to happen next time. And when things start to feel vulnerable, you're just going to accept the vulnerability. You're going to acknowledge, I'm getting vulnerable. I feel like everything is just collapsing before me. You're going to just start doing, and you're not going to let anything, you're just going to start doing, okay? What's the first thing that you know you need to do? Do that. Okay, one thing I know I need to do is, I need to... I don't know what it is going to be, but you've got to start doing things. It's sort of like you get too relaxed in life, and then kind of lazy gets the best of you. And it's like, well, I just kind of needed to be lazy for a while. Well, I got to start getting up again. I'm going to start getting up at 5 in the morning. I'm going to get up every day, and I'm going to get back into a routine of doing. And on those days, on those days where you just feel like laying in bed, I've been doing awesome for the last 3 weeks. I'm just going to take a good job break, and I'm not going to do it. It is to the point that if you need to just push through that. You need to literally stay consistent for a while in order to push beyond this constant pattern. You got a weird hooky need to hook on to whatever thought is going to make this the hardest, most difficult experience of all time. But the awesome news is all of this energy work I've been doing is helping to reground you, is helping the energy patterns themselves to start to acknowledge what it needs to do differently in order to create the harmony and the love balance. And it's purging out a lot of even weird energy coils, like that kitchen space. That's been one. I don't know what inspired that. Maybe you had a real kick in the rear at some point in your life, and it created, manifested this, and now it's being filled with every frustrating moment in your life. It goes into that kitchen space to maintain that annoying scenario, and now you just keep feeding it, feeding it, feeding it, feeding it. That kitchen space getting demolished and purging out all that black goo ball is a huge release. You seeing yourself in the cube and us working through that and purging out everything that was purged and helping you to grow out of the ground, that was huge. That's me training your energies to start seeing themselves differently, start seeing new pathways and new ways of doing things. That weird space with all the blinking lights, getting those out of there is automatically changing your version of truth, your version of reality. And so these are the energy techniques that are going to really promote you and assist you forward, because they're given to you by spirit. Spirit right now is giving this to you as a gift to help you get beyond this. Start feeding off of, okay, I'm doing great right now. I'm doing an awesome job. Just keep being positive about everything. Just keep being positive about everything, okay? There's just a pause right now. So again, we are standing at the doorway. We just took, you just fell out of your shirt, so you're not on the hook anymore. You're off the hook. And now you're standing on your own 2 feet and you're walking towards the door. And what are we going to see this time? I'm asking you to dig into your heart and think about the most positive and loving thing. Be honest with me. Go deeper than the ego thoughts that, my life sucks, it's always sucked, life sucks, blah, 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 suck, whatever. Now we get the blob energy sucking on your head. Like, now we know where it's coming from. This time, dig deep into your heart. Don't fall victim to the life sucks mentality. Go beyond the thoughts. Go deeper than the ego. Go into your heart and say, I really have been giving in to my thoughts quite a lot. And I really do kind of think negatively more than I should. And on the other side of this doorway is a really great job where I can start getting on my feet financially or whatever. I don't know, whatever it might be. And now let's see what happens. On the other side of this doorway is a very loving soulmate, a friend, a partner that sees me, that I see as well, and that we start helping each other get through this thing called life and work on the same page. And I'm going to choose to think positively because I want to attract somebody who also thinks positively. And that way I can be a positive voice to help them, and they can be a positive voice to help me. You got to start choosing positive, positive, positive. Let's see what this is doing to the other side of the doorway. It's starting to manifest change, but it's still not. It still looks gloomy over there. We got to keep going. Now we're going to just walk to the other side of the doorway. We just walked to the other side of the doorway. What is beyond this doorway? Everything is positive. It's a new horizon. Life is going to be emotional. Life is going to be hard sometimes, but it's always going to be positive and loving and beautiful and reflection of all that is, was, and ever will be. Reflection of my beautiful, profound, and loving soul. My beautiful, profound, and loving reflection. I am love. I am a reflection of love. I can breathe, I can sing, I can cry and rejoice, I can be thankful and grateful, I can feel blessed. Even now it is very hard. The ego is very just like wants to squeeze the living daylights out of you for being so positive. But That's the moment where we're on the beach in the sand, and the little owie pinchers that are going to try and make you move and try and rattle your cage and try and derail you, but you're going to ignore them because they're just trying to take you off the pathway of enlightenment and positivity and happiness and joy and ascension and all of that. So you're ignoring it, just like I said. You're continuing to walk, and no matter what it looks like and how stinky and how dark and dismal and how miserable and life sucks, it keeps saying in your ear, you're like, nope, la 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 la, don't hear you, don't know anything about you. Now you are altering the energy pattern of your infinite reflection. Now you are walking, literally walking into the pathway of a whole new horizon because you are demanding it for yourself. You're staying firm in what you desire, what you want, no matter what happens, and you are going for it. You are determined, feet firmly on the ground. This is what I believe in. This is what I'm going for, and that is all there is. I am beautiful. I am courageous. I am strong. I have all the potential. I can do this thing. It's not about what everybody else is doing. It's not about how I can't do anything. No, I do everything right, and I am grateful for this, that, and the other thing. And I am moving forward with all perseverance, strength, and etc. You keep doing that. You're continuing to walk forward in this scene, and you are continuing to walk forward with strength and not allowing ego to derail you. This is amazing. This is the best I have seen you this whole time. You're doing awesome. They're showing me another doorway approaching you. You walk through it right away, and you're doing this all by yourself. Nobody's there cuddling you, holding you, babying you, letting you just stay as you are. You are demanding to take charge of your life, and now you are changing your own energy patterns for yourself. You're growing beyond this, becoming stronger, and now promoting this version of love for everybody to rejoice in, because you are love. Continuing to walk forward, feeling more stamina, more perseverance, feeling better about everything. Letting go of all the old needs to be perfect, to do everything right, to whatever it might be. Letting go of facades, different facades. There's a weird one that comes out of the brain region. It looks like a chicken, like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's another doorway approaching here. I mean, you've been walking in darkness and ego is long gone. It's only that you're still kind of walking in the shadow, but you're so determined and persevering through everything, you don't even notice that it's kind of darker or dismal. You just know that the horizon is coming for you, and even if it's 5 years from now, dang it, I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to stop this walk and this journey, and I'm going to start loving myself every freaking turn. My hair isn't sticking out crazy, and I am beautiful the way that I am. You not only say those words to yourself, you start living those words. You start aligning with those words. You start becoming those words, and you start walking in those words. Start believing in yourself. You start becoming something more when you start believing in yourself. Discovering what you're truly made of. And then aligning with that, and now discovering what a true champion you are. Being able to look back at how far you've come. And you've come this far, and it's incredible. You're very proud of yourself here in this scene. It's really amazing. I'm just so excited. I'm so, after everything we've been through to get to this point, it's like, she's doing it. She's doing it. She really is doing it. You're doing it. And there is no sucky jelly blubber over your head. It is like, that is so yesterday. That was so like 10,000 years ago. I don't even know what that was. That's kind of what you're like. In a really great way. That has nothing to do with you. Spirit shows me another sort of weird rumbly trying to derail you, but you are so strong in your stance at this point. It's something like a learning tool mechanism here, where it's like, oh, something new just happened. It wasn't from my own brain, it was just a life rumble. So now I get to take the skills and the know-how that I've learned, and now I get to put them into action by solving this problem. And look at me go. I'm not even falling back into my old energy patterns. I'm actually like a solid structure person, and I'm moving forward. And that kind of stunk. It was like a life rumble, but you know what? Look at me go. I'm doing awesome. I actually got through that and that challenge in a way that I've never done it before. And I'm not falling back into the old rut. I'm not digging myself a hole. I'm still walking forward. They're showcasing that this is the continuum here. This is where we are going from here. And where you are going from here. And there is quite a beautiful horizon. That is it. That is all I can tell you. That's all. There's a disconnect from your spiritual atmosphere. That was really a special and unique experience. We all fall into these patterns, you know. We all fall into the vulnerabilities, a way we can feel vulnerable to our thoughts and our minds. And life can make us feel very vulnerable too. Don't let life make you vulnerable, and don't let your mind and your emotions give way to the life vulnerabilities. Just go beyond all that stuff and just discover the champion that you are, and be the champion that you are, because it's so worthwhile, and it's amazing how everything in life changes when you do that. This is like an awesome message. We all can relate to this message. We all can use this message in our lives. It's a good one. It's really awesome. Thank you very much for exploring this with me, Brittany, and for your willingness to share this so we can all learn something about our energy behaviors. We can all relate to you. I can relate to you. I love seeing you take charge and show us what you're made out of, because it's pretty awesome stuff. All right, that's all I can share with you. Thank you again. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in exploring a soul rebirth journey with me, I would love to connect with you. Please visit my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel.